as I understand it, and it needs scrutiny, Easton Utilities has about a $16 to $17 million investment pool of ready cash. It can handle, and that is substantially more than the state standard, which is 2 to 3, 2 to 4. It seems to me, and this is part of the question too, relating to rate increases, why is this going on? And I think that there's adequate funding currently, plus the town has an ability to issue a bond if it feels like it, part of my finance background, to handle any improvements in the water system. Thank you.
The town of Easton currently has a production capability well in excess of current demands. This is partially due to the fact that Easton Utilities has planned usage rates which include an approximate 10% usage increase for the yet to be built hospital starting in 2011. Over time, it is clear that the upgrades will be needed to address planned growth. This includes the addition of a new proposed hospital. The estimated flow through 2025 allows for a hospital, which began in 2011. Easton's utility plans have anticipated growth well in advance of the need for them. They apply a tariff, which requires each new development project to pay a water and wastewater capital charge. These capital charges are used to fund construction or to repay loans used to construct new plants or wells. In addition to the capital charge, developers are required to construct sections of distribution or collection system. Using a 1% annual growth rate, Talbot County's water resource element includes that Easton will have a net available water system by 2030 of 1.2 million gallons per day and a wastewater capacity of 1.0 million gallons per day in excess of usage. That means the town of Easton has either already planned or has sufficient infrastructure to handle the projected growth rate of approximately 2,500 homes that would be accommodated with the current town boundaries in addition to some future growth areas.
I got to tell you, I can't think of anything to add to that. I contacted, when we all got these questions in advance, the 3 lead questions, I contacted the Easton Utilities Commission director and asked him what the situation was. And he said, well, it's true, some of the water system is 100 years old. They very much contest the fact that it's all that old. They feel they've been doing updates as they go along. I think of particular note, both of the people who spoke ahead of me have noted the very substantial reserves that the Easton Utilities maintains. It does generate questions, I think, about rates, but it does, I think, put the town in a good position to be able to deal with the water system and other utility replacements and upgrades that are going to be needed over time.
Yeah, I see on the water system as part of our infrastructure, and there's an aging of the infrastructure in the town of Easton. And to my knowledge, from the inquiries that I have made, there has not been a set fund put aside for future issues of replacing that system, the infrastructure that we need to have replaced and such. So I don't know of anything that the answer I was given was it just reaction toward anything that came along with the system where it needed to be dealt with as far as repair. That was the only issue that only answer that I've been given to that question.
I do adopt the answers of the first 3 speakers because they not only were thorough, but they are really in keeping with what the mayor and the Easton Town Council has done, at least from the time that I served on the council from 2001 to 2008. We were kept up to speed with the needs of the Easton Utilities and planned, and they had wonderful plans well ahead of any specific need and enough capital to make whatever repairs they needed manifest. So I don't think that that's a real issue. My problem is trying to understand why the rates are increasing based on the fact that there is enough capital there. And I have been talking to them because it's really astronomical, I think. And it was, I mean, the increases. And haven't been able to understand why now the water bill is coming on a monthly basis as opposed to the the quarterly basis. And it seems to me the first question was really a red herring, and the second one, and when I say red herring, it's really not an issue that needs to be addressed right now. There's plenty of money to take care of it, but I do think we need to deal with the rates. People are not able to pay their water bills and the other electric. So we really need to have our representatives look into that for our sakes.
They asked how many wells do we have in Easton, and the answer is 6 wells currently. How many are used? 5 of those wells are used. Number 10 is a standby status, and that's because they have detected some fluoride in that well. They asked about major problems with availability and distribution. At this point, there isn't, although during the course of the winter, when the frost gets in the ground, you do have anywhere from 6 to 10 water main breaks, which causes an inconvenience, but they're able to take care of that. Their long-range plans for upgrade. They're looking at a new well that'll be 1,200 feet deep and a water plant in FY16. And they asked finally, do we have any major complaints about water supplies? And I know occasional comments about dirty water since the pipes are made of iron. The annual flushing problem solves most of those, and they're installing additional pipe to loop the few places in town that have water main dead ends.
I don't want to repeat everything that's been said, but some of the issues that have come up with the water system. We do have 2 million gallons of storage in the town of Easton. There are 2 tanks, 2 1 million gallon tanks. One is at South Clifton, the other is out on Matthewstown Road. The complaints, as Al has pointed out, have been with an occasional dirty water in a pipe or something, rusty water, and that's usually taken care of by periodic flushing of the mains. We also instituted a program several years ago of looping the water mains. Instead of going to dead ends at the end of a street, for instance, they would go to the end of the street, loop it into the next one so that you get a continuous flow of water. And that gets rid of the stale smell sometimes that you see in the water and what have you, and keeps it moving. We've never ever, can anybody remember, curtailing use of water in the town of Easton or rationing the water. There's always been plenty, and it's always been available whenever anybody needed it. There are no plans right now for any kind of a funding process to accumulate funds for future expansion, but that is laid up to the developers when they put in a new house or something of that nature. And the utilities constantly sample the water to make sure that it is pure, that there are no solids getting into it. They require the industrial permit holders to do periodic sampling of their water so that it is guaranteed to be fresh, clean, safe to drink, and you should always have ample.